All across America, incredibly talented artisans make amazing objects the old-fashioned way, by hand. On this episode of Handcrafted America, artisans pound, grind, and sharpen metal to create elegant, functional art. In Denver, Colorado, a group of craftsmen make amazing Western belt buckles.
This will look like this.
In Vermont, this music box maker is the Sherlock Holmes of metalworking.
I use a sort of antique detective work.
And in Indiana, this knife maker is simply a legend.
I don't want to be one of the best, I want to be the best.
Can't make beautiful music without first making a little noise.
Loud noises coming.
Just because something's functional doesn't mean it can't be beautiful, right? See what I mean?
The legends of the Wild West are as much a part of Denver, Colorado as the surrounding Rocky Mountains. So it makes sense that the Johnson & Held Belt Buckle Company, the premier Western-themed belt buckle makers, craft their one-of-a-kind products here. For 30 years, the craftsmen at Johnson & Held have each lent their particular skill to the process. Each posse member is critical. I'm starting out with master buckle craftsman Ted Alsop, who's going to show me how he starts one of their best-selling buckles called End of the Trail. The design is an homage to famous sculptor James Earl Fraser's piece of the same name.
Why belt buckles for you?
I used to be a carpenter. As a carpenter, you learn to use a jigsaw. And this right here is just one step up from it.
I noticed there's an Old West theme, a kind of a Native American thing within the belt buckles. Why did you go that route?
That's what people wanted.
That's just what people... Hey, that's a good reason, right?
Yeah.
So you start with a pattern, right?
Yes.
How long you been doing this, Ted?
Oh, for around 30 years.
Using his saw, Ted cuts the center design out of a material called jeweler's bronze, which is very similar to brass. He applies beeswax along the way to make the saw easier to turn. Then he cuts the nickel outline.
Not some intricate handwork there, Ted.
I'm moving on to the next posse member, Bob Pfeiffer. He's a nuts and bolts guy. He starts by welding the nickel design to another piece of nickel that becomes the backing plate. The welds have to be 1/4 inch apart all the way around the buckle.
What if you mess up and don't get it a 1/4 inch?
Well, hopefully, Ted doesn't have to recut it.
Then we move to a different machine that shapes the buckle.
This is the bender, and what we're going to be doing is taking this and put a curve in it for the buckle.
Okay.
And loud noises coming. And we have a curve.
Next, the prong and the loop are welded onto the back of the buckle. The brass piece that goes in the middle is also welded in place. Now, it's on to design, a Johnson & Held specialty. Lyda Oliver uses Kingman turquoise to bring the buckle to life.
So you're painting with stone, basically.
Yeah.
These are like little rows of turquoise.
They come in big blocks, and then we cut them into slabs
Okay.
and sticks.
And you're just putting a little bit of glue on that?
Just clip it, dip it, stick it in there.
And you're just kind of eyeballing that to see how much you have to cut?
It gets a little harder because, like with the moon, you have different shapes
Yeah.
that you have to fit stuff into.
How do you do that?
Just practice.
You know, I hear that all the time.
Once the stones are in, Lyda locks them into place by pouring liquid plastic? Huh?
First, I put the tape on to make like a dam to hold the plastic in. And then I put my plastic and catalyst in to harden the plastic. And then I try to dribble a little in at first to let it seep in between the stones. And then we just fill it up to where it's high enough to cover everything. So when it's ground down, there's no low spots. And then I put it in the cabinet.
The cabinet is heated with a 200-watt light bulb. The plastic stays in overnight to harden. While we're waiting, I head over to Bronson Enrico. He does a different kind of buckle painting.
Okay, so you have a lot of different colors that you're working with here, and just glue and sand, that's it?
That's it.
He uses a regular piece of paper to press the sand tightly into the glue. He continues adding multiple layers of sand and colors until...
This will look like this.
And no two are alike, which is why these buckles can command $200 to $300 per buckle. Our end of the trail belt buckle is done hardening. The plastic is removed at the grinder, using finer and finer grit sandpaper to reveal the turquoise pattern now locked in place. Finally, engraver Thomas Perez gives the buckle its own detail.
They make tools for gold and silver, but that's soft metal. This is a lot harder metal.
So you're telling me that you made these?
Yeah, you have to make them. They don't
sell them?
No.
Oh, wow. Right here, you're making the feathers?
Right. And what I do is what I call a slide. You just go back and forth, like.
Oh, yeah.
After the engraving, all that's left is a final buff. And
Here it is, end of the trail with Moon. And it's the end of my day with all of these amazing people.
this is the only man in the country with the power to revive a 19th century art form.
The information is there on a cylinder if you can read it.
In the 19th century, playing your favorite tunes was a bit more complicated than just popping in some earbuds. Playlists back then came from mechanical music boxes, which were the first machines to play recorded music. And I'm about to meet a man who makes them.
In Montpelier, Vermont, the golden age of mechanical music is alive and well, thanks to Jonathan Hertz. Jonathan gives voice to the forgotten composers of 19th century music boxes.
I use a sort of antique detective work to try and figure out how to reproduce a 19th century musical box. I managed to decode the tunes that were written on antique cylinders. The information is there on a cylinder if you can read it.
And Jonathan is the only music box maker in the country that has engineered a way to do just that.
It's a matter of figuring out where the pins are in the original and then reproducing them perfectly.
So Jonathan created a computer program that scans the old cylinders and creates a kind of digital blueprint.
I need to take every one of those notes that you see on the screen and change them into a line with two pieces of information: what tooth you're playing and at what moment in the tune you're going to play it. And I can tell the pinning machine exactly where to locate the pin.
What is this machine called?
The Jonathan Hertz pinning machine.
You made this?
I did, yeah.
Wow.
It takes Jonathan's pinning machine about 36 hours to insert 5,000 to 6,000 pins made of music wire into tiny holes in the brass cylinder. The pins on the turning cylinder pluck teeth on a steel comb. But first, those teeth need to be tuned.
This is our stroboscopic tuner. It tells us the very precise pitch. So there's a tooth I've already done. Now, the one below that, hear how high that is. We've got to grind that down a lot before we even get close to the correct pitch.
A piece of metal below the tooth holds it into place while Jonathan grinds it to the correct pitch.
You want to give it a try?
Sure. Moment of truth. You ready, John?
Give it a try.
Is that right? That's perfect.
Beautiful, nice
Yes.
work.
Okay, what's next?
Next comes dampering. There's a tiny hole on the end of the tooth.
Into that tiny hole goes a tiny wire. The wire's job is to stop the tooth from vibrating after the note is played.
If the tooth is vibrating when the pin hits, it makes an unbelievably irritating noise, a sort of a wah.
The damper wire stops the tooth's vibration so it's still when the next pin comes around.
Then as the pin goes up, the damper wire is pushed out of the way and the pin plucks directly on the tooth.
The pin cylinder spins on an arbor. That needs to be shaped, and back in the day, it was done by a blacksmith. And of course, Jonathan knows his way around a forge.
Well, I had a few years as a blacksmith before I was a music box maker.
Wow, talk about using traditional methods. After Jonathan forges the arbor to the right size, he finishes it back at the shop on the lathe. Next, Jonathan cooks up a 19th century recipe of rosin, sand, and shellac that glues the pins in place.
We're going to pour this into the cylinder, so to get cement against all the pins with a hole in the middle, we'll put it on a lathe and spin it, and centrifugal force will push the cement to the sides and leave a hole right through the middle.
Jonathan makes over 134 parts for the mechanism, either by hand or by tooling on custom machines he's engineered himself. Jonathan's music boxes cost between $5,000 and $9,000. When the mechanism is assembled and ready to play, he puts it into a poplar wood box made by a local Vermont woodworker. The faux rosewood finish is traditional for 19th century music boxes, and the top design is marquetry. It makes the perfect home for Jonathan's masterpiece.
Ah, music to my ears.
As a child, this artisan desperately wanted to buy his own pocket knife, but he couldn't afford it. Now, he makes knives that fans around the world dream of owning.
I think a lot of them are passionate about collecting them. Almost seen a fist fight before in the drawings I have down at the Blade Show.
Back in the early 1900s, this tool was essential, and hunters still use them today. But a handcrafted knife like this one is really, really hard to come by. That's why people from all across the world travel to buy one from our next legendary artisan.
I've been making knives for 44 years.
Wilfred, Indiana is a destination thanks to one man, master cutler Tony Bowes.
I don't want to be one of the best, I want to be the best. I always did.
A Tony Bowes Wilfred Works knife is a throwback to a different time.
I don't design knives, I bring them back from the grave. These are patterns that were made 100 years ago. They're classic old patterns, and I like to recreate them. My dad used to take me into a lumberyard over here that had a big display of knives, and I wanted one so bad and never did get it, you know. And I understand he couldn't afford it.
When he was 18, he bought his very first knife after cashing his first paycheck. Then he began making knives himself. And now he makes them with his son. Good thing, since Reese has taken over Tony's 8-year waiting list.
And he just got so many that he quit taking orders.
I had an order book, and people would call me and order 10 or 15 knives. Every knife I make to use.
You have so many pocket knives, and they're absolutely beautiful. What do you use these for?
Well, I study them. I use them for inspiration to do what I do. I make patterns that you can't go down to the hardware store and buy now.
Tony recreates pocket knives made in cutleries in the early 1900s.
You're hand-making a factory-made knife.
Yes, which is better materials, better fit and finish, and just overall like a Cadillac version of a Chevy.
I like that. So what are we making today?
Today we're making a bullnose trapper, which was developed in the early 1920s.
This knife has 15 individual parts. First, the bottom handle with a pin at the front and a lanyard tube at the back. Next comes a spay blade, which is used to scan animals. The blade rotates open on an aluminum bronze bushing with the help of a spring. There's a liner that keeps the blades from rubbing against each other. Then, the sticker blade and its bushing and spring. Finally, the top handle with a decorative shield attached with 2 pins, and one final pin to hold everything in place. Tony etches the bullnose pattern onto a piece of 154 centimeter steel.
It was developed for jet engine props. It'll work at 1,000 degrees. Now it has to be sawed out.
Tony has 9 metal grinders set up in his workshop. Each one creates a different shape, some bevel, some straight.
See that? It's beveled.
The steel is wrapped in heat-treating foil to keep the blade clean. Tony says correct heat treating is the most important part of the knife-making process.
It's about 800 degrees right now, but we're going to take it up to 1975.
Whoa.
This blade's been heat treated and quenched. Quenched means it's brought back to room temperature.
And why do you do that? Why do you heat treat it?
That changes the structure in the steel and hardens it.
He then puts the blades in liquid nitrogen.
This sub-zero quench is 320 below zero. Will make a better blade that stays sharp longer and is easier to sharpen. I put a nut between them so the nitrogen will come in from all directions.
Okay.
And I just drop it down in there. It'll sit there overnight.
Tony takes the blades out and tempers them 2 more times, getting them up to room temperature.
When you temper it, you heat it at a lower temperature and it softens it and makes it more deductible, stronger, and it won't chip or break.
A lot of chemistry in knife making.
It's just like baking bread, you follow a recipe.
If that's the case, Tony is definitely an expert bread maker. Knife lovers around the world clamor for his recipe.
I've been in the Japanese magazine 4 different times. One of them was a 10-page article. I've got a lot of coverage out of Blade magazine and Knives Illustrated.
Piece by piece, pin by pin, Tony puts each of the 15 pieces together.
What I'm going to do is load the preload on these springs. The preload is what makes that thing snap.
Pop out like that.
It makes it stay open when it's open and closed when it's closed.
Okay.
And then as it turns, that spring raises.
Yeah.
That's what gives it the walk and the talk.
The what?
Okay. The walk and the talk. They call it walk and talk.
Okay.
Okay?
I got you. Tony's knives are timeless, just like the materials they're made from. From prehistoric times?
Yeah, it's at least 10,000 years old. Could be 60,000 years old.
A Tony Bowes knife is a useful work of art that will last for generations.
I'm sure somebody will see a knife somewhere that says T. Bowes, Wilford, Indiana, 100 years from now. That'll be my legacy.
We're making a bull-nosed trapper pocket knife, a 2-bladed, sleek, and beautiful piece often used by hunters. We prepared and assembled the metal. Now, it's time to shape the handle.
This is the raw bone like we get it. Shin bone off of cattle out of South America. This is it after it's dyed. Then we cut it to the shape of the knife and jig it. There's 2 different jig patterns.
Tony likes this handle material because it's dense and it won't shrink. Tony's son Reese is also a knife maker. Reese gives the handle a textured look and feel by using a rotary tool with a disc cutter that jigs bone. It's this kind of detailed design that attracts people to Bowes knives.
I think it's a form of art. We want them to be used. They're still art, but you only live one time, and it's a shame to not use it.
I'm looking at this handle right here that looks really worn. This has got to be a very old handle.
This is an old bull-nosed trapper that looked just like this whenever it started. I look at old knives like this and just wish it could tell its story.
Because you know they've got some good ones, Tony.
You better believe it. Probably the most fascinating and unique handle material is fossilized woolly mammoth ivory.
What?
It's
woolly mammoth, like from prehistoric times?
Yeah, it's at least 10,000 years old. Could be 60,000 years old. They dig it up in the frozen north.
Gosh.
It's fossilized, so it's not an endangered species. The different colors is determined by the mineral content of the ground they dig it up out of.
That is incredible.
Many pocket knives have an inlaid metal decorative element on the handle. It's called a shield. Tony uses a mill with special carbide cutters to create a pocket for that inlay.
The bottom piece is the liners and the bolster. And this thing's all been all tuned up and it's flush jointed and it's ready for the handle and the shield to go onto it. So we got to put this thing in this little jig, and this parser plate's what guides the cutter to cut the pocket for the shield. I take it out there 10 thousandths at a time. It's high concentration.
Okay, so I just go in an outline, right?
Yeah, just make sure you hold it against the side of it. Don't put a lot of pressure on it. Got it?
Yeah. This is what I did. Carved out this little guy, and we're gonna put the shield in there. It's gonna pop right in there.
This is what people used to put their name and initials on to personalize a knife.
On most manufactured knives, the shield would be glued in. Not Tony's. He runs pins through it and grinds it all flush so the shield never falls off.
From here, we'll put it on the liners and get everything cleaned up and refinished and ready to assemble.
Tony makes his final changes. Then he checks the movement of the blades and makes sure any edges are ground smooth. Finally, he sharpens the blade and makes sure it cuts.
Oh, yeah.
When he's satisfied, the master shows off the final results.
There it is, the bullnose trapper all done. Everything's tight, everything's flush, the blades are centered, walks and talks, very sharp. This will get her done.
This knife sells for around $2,500, and it was sold the very next day.
What do people that buy your knives, what do they say about your knives?
Well, the ones that use them just love them because they cut. And the ones that collect them just love them because they're purty. Jill, you're an absolute delight. Thank you for coming today.
Well, the feeling is mutual. Absolutely mutual.
Most of us look at metal and see unyielding material, but these artisans understand it. They know exactly what needs to be done to shape it. They know how to turn it into something sharp and useful.
If it don't cut, then it's useless.
And they're experts at somehow turning into something that seems delicate. And if you listen closely to the sound these artisans make, you can almost hear the melody of fine craftsmanship.